Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another Degen Power Hour, the Thursday Degen Power Hour. New background. Who's this? Shout out to Bruni, looking good. But we're going to cover DFS. We're going to cover Underdog Battle Royale. We're going to cover Thursday Night Football, bets and parlays. Rudy's ready. Are you ready? Let's get started now. All right. Yes. Shout out to our guy, Bruni, for doing a new overlay background for us, making us look really nice and clean. Mike Robb says, look at you fancy people. That's right. Again, all shout out to Bruni, because if I had to try to do this, it would never happen. It just wouldn't happen. We know I'm not the tech girl is not, it's not a thing. It's just not, wouldn't happen. So Steve, how are you doing? How are you feeling about week 5? We have like Christian McCaffrey and, the B team playing tonight. How are you feeling about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, doing good overall, but yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, who do I want for my best ball bags tonight? And on 49ers, it's one man. Yeah. If maybe MVS gets activated, and
I was going to say, you were tracking a lot of MVS.
There. But yeah, I don't have any Jake Tonjes. I don't have any Demarcus Robinson. Don't have any Kendrick Bourne. Don't have any Mac Jones. So for one team, it's one man. On the other side, I have some Puka, but really would love a 2-tud Devontae game.
Yeah, you and I both have a good bit of Devontae. So, and he has been a great red zone target for Matthew Stafford.
Oh yeah,
he's like the red zone guy. So
he's consistently putting up 15 plus point games. Just we need that 25-30 point game.
Yeah. No, we haven't seen like a massive ceiling yet, but the touchdowns have been so nice. Hopefully keep getting that and some, like you said, some more ceiling games too. I'm going to tweet out that we are live while I'm doing that. Tell me kind of just how you're feeling for this week 5 slate.
Yeah, feeling pretty good. We're keeping some more injury news and different situations. I saw like the Cardinals they're kind of splitting it between DeMarcado and Carter. Some good news, some positive news, like Jaden Daniels looks good to go, but other guys are still partially practicing or missing practice. I saw Bucky Irving, I believe, missed practice today.
Yeah. He's in a cruise, right?
Yeah. So that doesn't sound great. Tampa is a team that just can't stay healthy right now, but they're still winning, so that's good for them. But so just trying to sift through this injury news. I talked about it in our survey back and forth, and we'll talk about it as we get through this. That I really think that these cheap running backs are probably going to become available, like Rashard White, like DeMarcado, et cetera. I feel like those could be a bit more fool's gold this week. So we'll get to that more, but definitely something that's kind of my lean right now.
Yeah, and I feel like you said, the same thing, like these cheap guys are not like the lock button, chalk lock button, like good chalk plays that I don't think so. Maybe some could get there. Clearly at their price, they could in DFS, but I don't think it's the lock button chalk that we had with like Jordan Mason a couple of weeks ago that, totally did pay off and was worth being chalk. I'm not agreeing, or I don't feel that way either. But Steve mentioned survey. As you're coming in, hit that like button. We certainly appreciate it. Make sure you're following the Fanspeak Network or subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. We have shows every single weekday, sometimes multiple shows every single weekday. So we have you covered for, again, DFS, Underdog Dailies, NFL betting, every which way, every single weekday. And of course, finally, thanks to the beautiful new background that Bruni created, have you tried our Substack? Because it's a 7-day free trial. It's only $34.99 a year. Should be a month, in my opinion. But you know what? We'll work up there. No, it's only $34.99 for a year, but a free week trial. So link in the description. Check that out. You'll get something sent to us every single day. Earlier today, I sent our Thursday night bets and a parlay. Every single day you'll get sent either bets, something for betting, or DFS or Underdog Battle Royale. So definitely recommend checking that out. Okay, we'll go to the DFS streets first. Steve, Mike Robb wants to know your location. Doing a little going to door, the house that just
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. I'm visiting other family right now.
Yeah, Church of Bill. Bernie says, check the shirt. So you got eagle eyes, and the eagle eyes. I like it. Yes, no, I know you're visiting other family. Now you're going to be visiting your sister soon. You're coming to visit, and I just put it out there. I told you need to contact Chad Candles. We need like a little meetup there. So I'm excited for you to visit your sister. All right, let me bring over DraftKings. We will dive deeper because, again, we do the same thing on Mondays where we go through early look for DraftKings and Battle Royale and then talk Monday night bets. Today, it's a deeper look on DraftKings, talk more strategy, as you kind of alluded to with, a lot of ways to go at running back, ways you could build lineup construction, do a little diving deeper here on the DFS slate, and then we'll go to the Battle Royale streets, and then we'll go to the Thursday night betting streets. Okay, it's asking me for a login for DraftKings. I thought I was logged in, but yes, we will get here in a minute, Steve. So give your overarching, again, you kind of talked about it, but give your overarching slate strategy for week 5.
Yeah, I think it always starts with the quarterbacks, and we'll get to that a little deeper. But with Jaden coming back from the injury and Hurts, he's had a good floor, but he hasn't had I know 2 weeks ago against the Rams, he did kind of hit that ceiling, but generally the ceiling feels more out of reach when considering how little he's throwing in general. And this is a tough matchup against the Broncos. I know the Broncos gave us some points earlier in the season, but I do think that defense is just extremely talented. I think this could be a good matchup. There could be points scored in this game, but paying up for Hurts, it's a little different than say underdog dailies where, the difference between a 3rd round Jalen Hurts or a 6th round Jalen Hurts, like if Hurts hits, you want him there, but you're paying a price where here, there is a gap between him and even Herbert. And then of course, going down further to some other quarterback options like Dak and Fields, etc.
Well, you do a great job of pointing out that I realized I had to ask Bernie. I'll have to ask Bernie about this because the thing covers up his beautiful background. We can't have that covered up, but I'll figure it out, first time through. But you talked about that last week with Battle Royale is different from DFS. And we'll get into that when we get into the different streets, because you had Josh Allen, who I was fading like the high priced quarterbacks last week. You had Josh Allen in your Battle Royale that finished 40. What was it? What did you finish? 40th in the Wildcat, but a really nice cash in the Wildcat. And that was a sharp play on Battle Royale. How would you handle? We'll get to it there, but I just don't love that game environment. Just doesn't feel great to me.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. And I mean, I didn't play Allen as much as where his ADP was. I played Lamar over Allen last week, but it's in that situation, you're just not saving much. So you want an exposure into those guys, especially if you're playing at volume. Where here, there is a big savings, even if you're playing at volume, like Jaden Daniels over 7,000 versus Herbert, was at 6,100. That's $900. And you keep going down further the list, it's more and more.
Yeah.
So then you can factor in ownership, every draft done, Josh Allen was getting drafted. So I won a portion of that where, if Josh Allen, if you knew in that case, Josh Allen, and I think he was moderately owned last week. But it was, you weigh that factor as well.
Yeah. Okay. So what other kind of overarching strategies do you want to talk to, or do you just want to get into lineup construction?
Let's get into lineup construction, because I think the overall strategy will make itself known from there.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Did not have. Okay. So as far as lineup construction, and starting at the quarterbacks, then I have a very narrow quarterback pool. And again, this won't go too far into player pool stuff because we have a show for that. As for our Substack, subs will be up on Saturday morning. And it's a show basically going through our favorite plays and which players are in our player pool at each position. So, but just lineup construction wise, I am not paying, like you said, for the top guys of Daniels and Hurts. I may on 4 p.m. only do some big Detroit onslaughts, because I could just see that being a game where you want to just play like 4 or 5 lines basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may do that on like 4 p.m. only and just try it in case Goff is kind of just a part of all of that. But my quarterback pool is pretty narrow this week, and they're all kind of in that mid range with Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Herbert, and maybe a little Daniel Jones. How are you handling it from that perspective?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. And there is that like 1 p.m. if you want to play, Hurts as a hedge lineup, or 4 p.m. play Daniels. I think those make sense, especially the 4 p.m. Daniels, just because there's less quarterbacks and he's not having to outscore some of the same guys that we are going to be higher on in the early slate, like Dak and Fields. But yeah, Dak, Fields, Herbert are my top 3. I think Daniel Jones. I think there's a case for 1 or 2 others you can make, just to mix it up a little bit. But this does not feel like an area where I'll be going for Cooper Rush with the replacement quarterback. He just doesn't have any sort of rushing upside, and Houston's just a tough defense, and the Ravens are probably in a bad spot right now.
Right. Okay. So, and the other thing before we kind of go to just lineup construction on the rest of the slate in regards to positions is not just in regards to positions, but lineup strategy, kind of and I said this on the CBS show this morning, kind of my macro strategy for this particular week 5 main slate is just lean into the great game environment / great team totals, and don't feel pressure, to feel like you have to get, pieces of every game, or pieces of, not that you're ever getting pieces of every game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really into like the one-offs and skinnies as much this week. I really am into like big game stacks and onslaughts. And that is, of course, the Cowboys Jets game. That's the Chargers. That's the Colts Raiders, a lot more the Colts side, and the Lions. It's basically, that's where I'm leaning into. And if I'm right, I feel like I could really get paid off if like, one of those 2 games pop there, or that I'm maybe, condensing in on, or if some of those teams pop. I don't know. And again, that could just not be the right way to play it. Maybe it is. And again, our other big kind of macro stand is maybe not going for a lot of these backup running back situations. I would say like, Sia, who I do the CBS show with, talked about like, I could see playing Rachaad White more on like the 4 p.m. only slate, but I don't know that I'm going to play him on main slate. You could do stuff like that, but I really don't see that for the backup running backs, especially the Cardinals situation, that I'm going to get to a lot, because there are just so many other guys that I like, various price points at the running back position. So yeah, I think those are my 2 biggest macro strategies. What do you think about those before we get to other lineup construction stuff?
Yeah, I will say another game that I do want some pieces to, that I would be more willing to go with skinny stack, would be the Carolina-Miami game. Just 2 really bad defenses. Not necessarily, I think Bryce Young, maybe not really so much from the quarterback perspective, but definitely a chain, and, Waddle, maybe even Malik Washington is a cheap wide receiver play. And then on the flip side, you've got like, maybe Hubbard's out. That seems to be up in the air right now. I probably won't go Rico Dowdle, but where I will go is McMillan. He's gotten great target share. And then Tommy Tremble. Tommy Tremble looked really good last week. So JT Sanders is out again, and I think that's a good play.
Yeah. And I want to get to chat in a second, but I hear what you're saying on that game. I think because the Dolphins side is so chalky, and don't know that I'm sold after 1 game. And I know it condenses more, but I don't know. I might make a fade, just because like if Ollie Gordon, is able, it vultures a touchdown, and I understand the chain's explosive and whatever. And if he is back to being involved in the passing game, that could totally burn me, because I know obviously the matchup's great against the Panthers. And then of course the matchup's great for the Panthers. So I get it. It's just, I think it's more just grossed out by both the offenses at some level, and worried about some of it being chalk, basically. But I totally get that is another game you can tack up. That's just a stand I'm making, and I could be totally wrong, and I'm admitting that. But I play less lineup, so it's not like I can really touch all bases. You know what I mean? So that's why if I'm going to make a stand, I kind of have to make a stand. But again, so that I think really depends on what type of player are you? Are you playing like in the DK Millie? Are you playing in smaller contests? Are you playing tournaments? Are you playing, how many lineups are you playing? So I think that all depends, but that's how I'm handling it because of the number of lineups I'm playing. I usually, end up somewhere from like 8 to 10, 8 to 12 lineups usually, but that's between like 1 p.m. only, 4 p.m. only main. So, it's only like 3 or 4 each one. So I try to, try to narrow in my pools and stands and stuff like that. Let me get to the chat real quick, and then we can move on with lineup construction stuff. Steve, Best Ball and Call, great to see you. I always picture Steve in the next room yelling to Meg. That's going to happen when he comes to visit me. So that will happen in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, Steve. Who did you say can't wait?
Can't wait.
You mean it. I know you do. So Mike Robb said 4 times. Love it. Do you talk about 1 p.m., 4 p.m.? Are you both doing that each week or only specific weeks? And Cooler's giving a little smart ass. You can say that again. But we love you, Mike Robb and Cooler's. Good to see you both in there. And good question, Mike. So we do want to talk about this more because Steve and I, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and then you did like some kind of showdown, I think, and won some money on the Jaguars, Texans. Steve won a 1 p.m. only, early only contest 2 years ago, and took it down in like multiple contests. So it was a big, massive win for him. He and I both like playing early only and afternoon only. I've had some success, but not that kind of success. So yeah, I think we both enjoy it. We both had some level of success on it, Steve much more. And so we do want to talk about it more because I don't think a lot of people do. Sia, who I do the CBS show with, does a lot, and I do with him. But I don't think a lot of people in the DFS content space do. And they're really fun because it hedges you off also, like, again, if there's a big injury like the Lamb 2 weeks ago, and he's in all your contests on main, well, then, in the 1 p.m., you get to live in a world where you don't have to deal with CeeDee Lamb, or last week I was so invested in Caleb Williams stacks and I just couldn't get myself off of it. So 4 p.m. main, not so good, but I cashed in a Drake May Henry contest because, again, I lived in a world where I didn't just be, force in Caleb's stack. So that's what I like about that too, is it kind of forces you off things. If you kind of almost want to lock button things or be on things that make sense, but it doesn't work out for one way or another, well, then you can live in a world with a slate without it and stuff.
Yeah. And if you just, for whatever reason, aren't on a guy who explodes a certain week, like Neighbors versus the Cowboys, or like last week, Genty, if you're playing 1 p.m., Genty wasn't in your life, So
because that was a mistake. Last week I said week of the rookie running back, and then I don't play Ashton Genty, and it's like big mistake, huge. If you don't play Genty, you're not doing well. So that was the other big mistake, is I was running it back with the pass catchers from Raiders, Jacoby Myers especially, and not Brock Bowers. You know me, I don't pay up for tight end. But no, and so I was running it back with mainly Jacoby Myers, not Genty. Huge mistake. But like you said, then 1 p.m. only. Well, you live in a world without that. So Coolers points out, but great question, Micah. We appreciate that. And Go Easy Cards is given a hard time too. But Cooler says the strategy on those slates can be very different too, with a lot less games. Absolutely. And that's why it's so fun, obviously, on Thanksgiving, because you have the 3 games at 3 separate times. But I actually like it personally, Steve, where it's like, just, put it all in and then let's flip the cards, because the whole, like, the extra strategy on Thanksgiving is, then you have to maybe leave some stuff for some late swap things. And I'd rather just, nope, these are my 1 p.m. only. Let's flip the cards and see who's right, and same thing for 4 p.m. only, as opposed to, we love the Thanksgiving slate. You did well that same year, that same weekend, the Thursday before that Sunday slate, you did well. That was a hell of a Thanksgiving weekend for you. But Coolers is so right. The strategy can be so different depending on the slate too. And that's where the game theory of it all just comes in, and it's so fun. We got Wheels Up in here, Meg. Good to see you, Wheels Up. He said, and Coolers mentions ownership really condenses chalk ownership much higher. Absolutely. So then we'll get to a contrarian play that I have on Detroit, but you make a contrarian play and you hit that can be massive. On that particular, and again, that was a Thanksgiving slate, 3 different time starts, but you hit a massive contrarian play of, I believe, who is that smaller receiver that now on the Bills?
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel was very low owned. And so that was right in the middle game, hit massively. And then I can't remember if your last play in the night game was chalky or not, but it just totally worked out for you because you hit the absolute contrarian play. So if you hit on a contrarian play in the short slates, it is just like, I remember one time a couple years ago, I played like John Bates or somebody like a Washington tight end that did score a touchdown. And he was like 0.02%, it was like me and one other person played him. And it's like, and he was min price. And it was like just the leverage stuff you can get from those type of moves. And again, you don't have to be contrarian throughout the line. It was just like hitting on a couple of those contrarian pieces can just be absolutely massive.
Last week's perfect example. I don't know what his ownership was in the 4 p.m. slate, but Patrick Mahomes was not higher owned than Lamar or Caleb or probably even Geno, and he crushed them all.
Yeah.
And so those lineups were exactly.
But I thought Patrick Mahomes was chalky. No, I can't remember.
I don't know because I played very little 4 p.m. last week, and I just did like a Lamar and a Caleb lineup, and both of those sucked. So
yeah. No, I totally understand.
I didn't really pay much attention to what I just know, like Mahomes crushed everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So finding especially like those outlier plays that like lap the field at their position, or the super contrarian that just you get massive leverage. It was just you, John Bates, playing John Bates. John Bates' family was in the DraftKings streets, and that's it. That was it. That's funny. AZ cards, we would just make it so hard. Just plug Scataboo in, collect your winnings, rinse, repeat. That's hard to say. Let's put my play on this week because I stood up and watched it. Not only did I have him in my DFS lineups, I had him anytime touchdown. I had him in a touchdown parlay, not the one our touchdown treasure chest was 3 out of 6, but I had him in a touchdown parlay where I just needed him left. I'm standing up 2 times in a row. He got stopped like inside the 3 or whatever. And was that tough? So I'm going back to the well. But yeah, Steve, so line of construction as far as the rest, I think you and I kind of alluded to it. We're not just going to punt down necessarily at running back. Maybe on short slate, we might do that to jam in other things, but we're not just going to punt down with the backup running back situation. Like to me, JT, Gibbs, you mentioned Achane. There's plenty of pay up running backs. There's also, you can go back to the rookies, Scatabo, Genty, Hampton. I know Genty and Hampton have banged up offensive lines. And then there's like the mid tier also of like Javonte Williams, Breece Hall. You could get super contrarian and play like a Saquon or Derrick Henry. Like if you think somehow the game script works that the Ravens can actually feed Henry the ball and it works, or get out ahead and play from ahead, you're going to get very low ownership on a Derrick Henry. And he was one of the plays that like one Monday when we did our first look, I was like, no way, this is a disaster. And now I'm like really thinking about it because it's like, it'll be interesting to see ownership updates on that. So talk about line of construction from the running back position for you, Steve.
What do you want to highlight the running back position?
That would be a great start, huh?
So, I mean, you said it up top, especially now we're not playing Bucky. So, I mean, I truly do want all those running backs. I mean, Saquon and Henry are going to be lower owned, but you're also getting them at like the lowest price you're going to get them. Their usage, I know Henry only got like 8 carries last week, but he ran for 5.6 yards per carry. The issue wasn't him. The game just went totally fugazi. Yeah. This week they're playing the Houston Texans, and I know the Ravens defense is banged up, but Houston's offense has been fairly anemic this year. This is not Patrick Mahomes. This is not Xavier Worthy.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, Nico is Nico, but
that's what I'm interested in is like skinnies of like Henry Nico potentially, especially in 1 p.m. only.
Yeah, I think that would be very unique even for 1 p.m. only. And it's that kind of stuff that I feel good about. And honestly, same with like Saquon. They cannot figure out their passing game, and the Broncos, their secondary is pretty damn good with Surtain and Riley Moss and some of these other guys. So, the Eagles cannot figure out. Yeah, the Eagles cannot figure out their passing game. I mean, I know AJ Brown is trying to make peace this week and everything, but it just isn't good. They're very bad. And you look, Saquon's gotten at least 18 carries every game. He's gotten 4 targets in 3 of the 4 games. Like, I just feel like this could be set up. He just needs 1 or 2 explosion runs. And we know he's capable. I don't think he's suddenly washed because he got 400 touches last year.
No, the offensive line hasn't been as good, but I mean, he still had a touchdown in 3 of the 4 games. He just needs to get more yardage and more explosive carries, like you said.
Well, it's one of those things, like, even at his price, just 1 more touchdown, honestly. Like, last week's game, 43 yards, another 31 through the air. But that looks like an awful game, but he still had 17.4 points on DK with full point PPR. He honestly just 1 extra touchdown, and that looks like a really good game for his price.
Yeah, and my favorite play, and I think yours is too, is JT's usage is just absolutely amazing. So I love, indoors Vegas Indy matchup. I'm very interested in that, which I believe you are too.
And let's also keep in mind his score last week of 14.6 on DraftKings, particularly if not for that Adonai Mitchell 50-yard plus run that was called back due to holding. That's another 14 points. He would have had over 20. He would have had 29 DK points last week.
I just noticed he's been more involved in the receiving game, running more routes. He has literally caught every reception. Targets reception, it's like 3 and 3, 2 and 2. Oh no, he had 3 for 4 week 3, sorry, and 5 for 5. It's not like he's getting outside of the 50 yards week 2. I think that was a big explosive. Long of 43. That, it's not like he's getting a ton of yards outside of that, but he is more involved in the passing game. So that adds to it too. Big time.
I think he has as many catches as he did all of last year, and that was in 14 games. The year he was RB1, he had 40 catches, so he's above that pace. He's looking really good, and the matchup does not scare me. I know Vegas controlled the Bears rushing attack, but it just really truly doesn't scare me.
Okay, so let's talk now about the rookie running backs. There's that tier of them with Marion Hampton 6.5, Scadaboo 6,000, and there was another one.
That's Genty.
Yes, Genty 6.7. So are you going to kind of work those in your running back lineup construction? Again, we will be doing a top plays on Saturday morning for Substack subs.
Yeah, I think they are all well in play. I mean, on paper, it looks like Genty is the toughest matchup, but we just saw Kyron Williams have a good game against the Colts. We saw Dobbins have a good game against the Colts. Running backs have been pretty okay against the Colts overall. Just maybe not scoring touchdowns, but some of that is, again, just who they played and how those games have gone. And the other portion of it is, I just think Genty, like I talked about it on the show with Huheems the other day, he just got more confident. He looked a lot better. They're talking about the stance that he's using.
Michael Myers stance.
Yeah, it works. I mean, and also he's involved in the passing game. He's not going to get 2 touchdowns every week, but this is the thing. I think they realized he's effective. Just get the ball in his hands. He's, one of your best weapons. So he probably will start to be like Barkley and Taylor and getting 3 to 5 targets a game. And Hampton, same sort of thing. Like Hampton's usage was insane. I think he played like 88% of the snaps, something like that. They do not trust Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal, and I'm not shocked by that. And Washington is a lot better. It's a matchup that's a lot better than people think. I mean, we just saw Bijan and Algier run all over them. I know like Genty didn't get there 2 weeks ago, but I don't think this should be an issue for Amarian Hampton. And then our guy, Cam Scadaboo.
Well, that's why I got to read Mike Robb's comment. All Meg's lineups start with 8 slots open and 44K salary. Perfect comment. I mean, yes, I want to get to a little Hampton and Genty of the rookie running backs, but that comment is so perfect. I don't know that he's wrong. Go ahead, Steve. And again, we'll get to like the full player breakdowns, but go ahead on our guy.
And, he's a little cheaper, but it's a good matchup. Like the Saints.
What do you mean cheaper than Genty and Hampton?
And then
okay, I thought you meant, I was going to say he went up from last week, but okay, he's cheaper than Genty and Hampton. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
So anyways, very defensive about Cam Scadaboo. Anyways, 25 carries, and some of that was because he got multiple cracks at it inside the 5, but that's a good thing. I know last week he got stopped, but but it gets stopped to everyone. We saw Derrick Henry against the Lions get stopped multiple times inside the goal line. We've seen every back. So, like, I'm not too worried about that. I think the Saints, it's a good matchup that he has this week.
Great.
And, Jackson Dart is dealing with like a hamstring issue and was evaluated for
maybe he doesn't run as much.
Game. Like, I don't know if they're going to be having him run 10, 15 times every week, which also not only could get a carry or two more to Scatterboo.
Reception. He killed my receiving prop last week. Darting off and running so much. Gosh, that pissed me off. That if he's nursing a hamstring, that's a great point. Coolers says, but great call up on Mike. Coolers says Scatterboo just seems close to a lock for 20 touches. So hard not to dislike that play. And I agree. And then Coolers mentions Breece Hall. And this mid-range, and again, we'll break down the players, but this mid-range also has Breece Hall at 5.6K. And of course, I just lost to Javonte Williams at 6.2K. So there's just a lot to like in that mid-range. So as far as lineup construction, if you want to go down and get one of the cheapies, Woody Marks, I know some people are interested in, obviously Rachaad White, 4.7, the whole Cardinal situation, I believe, who is it? Michael Carter, C-Stone minimum at 4,000. So there's interesting pieces there. I am interested about like a 4 p.m. play, then maybe just like flip lineup construction and that kind of stuff on like a Rachaad White. But I just think in Maine, I'm going to kind of steer clear of this. And I'll be mostly Breece Hall and above, though I do want to call out, I'm very interested in a contrarian play of David Montgomery. Again, we'll go into the player take side on Saturday morning. And of course, Steve does an article Friday night too on Substack. We'll go into the player takes side, did dive deep there. But as far as a contrarian play, I just love all the Lions. And we saw 2 weeks ago, while Gibbs gets more work, Montgomery can still have these massive games like he did against the Ravens a couple weeks ago for 32 points, 2 touchdowns. He had 150 yards because he was breaking off explosives. So, I absolutely am very interested in David Montgomery. Why would they run Gibbs into the ground in a game like this where they'll likely be playing from multiple touchdowns ahead? So what do you think about the David Montgomery contrarian call?
Yeah, definitely for a 4 p.m. slate as well, because you're not competing with so many running backs. Because I agree with you. And we just saw the Broncos in a similar situation. Both their backs got there. I mean, Harvey ended up with the touchdown, and you say Harvey's more like Gibbs or whatever, but Dobbins got 100 yards. I just think Montgomery is going to get a few more touches this week than he did last week. And this actually might be one of his higher touch games. So I don't mind that at all. Like he doesn't have like 25, 30 point upside so much, but 20 points, I think, is well within his play. Like 100 yards and touchdown is very much in his play.
Let me pull up Michael Carter kicks ass. Scatterbo. Michael Carter is going to be bad chalk. Good to see you in here, kicks. Obviously Stone minimum, but he's calling himself the starter. But then they were both working in today. That to me does not feel like comfortable. I will say I don't think of it as good chalk. I'll put it that way. I understand they could be playing from a very positive game script at home, big favorites against the very woeful Titans right now. So but I just don't think I'm going to get there even on the short slate, Steve. I'd rather pay for Rachaad White, who might be playing from a negative game script, getting those pass catching extra points. I think it could be bad chalk, but it'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting if it will be chalk. There could be, now that there's so much DFS analysis, there could be enough people being like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, and maybe he's coming in lower owned by Sunday morning. I don't know, but what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think part of the issue is, and Rachaad White will split the role a little bit with Sean Tucker if Bucky's out, but I think here Carter probably won't get many targets. Like that will be DeMarco's range. So, we've seen the Cardinals throw 8+ times to their back. So that is a chunk of points. And the Cardinals offense, and maybe this is just the get right spot against Tennessee, but the Cardinals offense has just been very inefficient overall. Like they've just not looked good. They've not felt consistent. Their yards per game are really low. They settle for a lot of field goals. So that just worries me in general. And now they're on to the third running back at least you could say Benson had pedigree of being a third round pick.
Right.
And then you do, maybe Kyler, if Cardinals do go off, maybe it's just Kyler and McBride and Harrison, like they're actual studs. So that's just the worry. Like, yeah, they could dominate this game, win 24-3 or something like that. But I probably won't get there.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get there either. Okay, so that's basically where we're landing is we're not going to get to as much of the kind of backup lower price guys. We like that high range, mid price range. Because again, this is more line of construction, diving deeper, mentioning short slate stuff. And then player takes will be Saturday morning and Steve's article Friday night. So receivers, do you see spending up for these? I'm not spending up for Chase, obviously. I know that'd be low, but yeah, I mean, I sent somebody is going back and forth with somebody on Twitter, and I sent them my eyes from Friends when Phoebe saw Monica and Chandler. My eyes are pain. It's so painful to watch Jake Browning in that offense. And I understand it's been really hard defensive matchups, but I don't think these next few weeks are going to be much better either. Because it's what Lions and Packers, and I don't know. It's not great. So are you paying up for these PPR, alphas essentially in ASB, JSN? I think Nico is interesting as maybe coming in lower owned. Obviously, we like George Pickens in that game environment stacked, whether you're with Fields or Dak Prescott. So I like that a lot. I think Deebo Samuel's fine. Obviously, I think Garrett Wilson's going to be very chalky, at 6,100, but obviously going against the worst defense. So yeah, there's plenty I like up here, but I'd say for me, it's going to be maybe one higher price guy, one mid price guy, if you consider it like George Pickens to the Chargers receivers, and maybe one cheaper guy. We'll talk about, there are some cheap options, whether it's a Miami receiver, a Giants receiver, a Cowboys receiver. There are cheap options. I could see me doing like one high price guy, one mid, one cheap, or one high price, two mid, or maybe just three middle price guys. How do you see the kind of the lineup construction for receiver for you? You don't have to go through player takes again. Save that for Saturday. Yeah.
I mean, I will say the one truly high price receiver I want, or a lot, would be, two, Pickens and ASB. I do consider, anything above 6,500 high price, and ASB, sure. Not only is it PPR, but he's getting touchdowns. I mean, he's got 6 touchdowns over the last 3 games.
Yeah.
He's just looked great. And Pickens, it's not just last week. It's the 2 weeks prior. And people talked about how there was exact same lines, 5 for 9, 68 and touchdown. But that's 17.8 points. Now his price is up. So yeah, he needs to get more, of course. But you're in the ballpark with that. And we just saw this Jets defense all along. I mean, they were getting shredded by the Steelers week 1, and that has just continued since. And the Dolphins, even after Tyreek went out, were still passing the ball all over them. But yeah, mainly I'm going to be more in that mid tier, kind of Garrett Wilson and below.
Yeah. And then you have to make a decision on the Chargers receivers. Again, we're not going to get into that now. Yeah. We'll get into it on our player take show, but you have Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, and Ladd McConkey priced within like $200 of each other, all in the 5.5 to 5.7. In what world did we think week 5 QJ would be priced ahead of Ladd McConkey? Here we are. And now we need to figure that out. We will figure that out on Friday night, Saturday morning. Look for the player takes show, our top plays at each position. And Steve, of course, will have an article as well. Okay. Tight end. You know me, I don't spend up for tight ends. I love how people will be like, but this is the cheapest they've ever been. But when we were paying, $7,000, whatever, more than that for prime Kelsey, prime Gronk, they were delivering prime Kelsey, prime Gronk. I push back on the Bowers. I think he's still playing injured. McBride, I just don't love that offense. So until they shut me up, I'm not doing it. And I know it's only now $1,000 savings, but I absolutely love both Ferguson and Warren. So I'm going to live in the Ferguson Warren 4.8K, 4.7K range. You could go to Laporta if you want a piece of that game stack, obviously at 4.2. And then I like a lot of cheapies. There's just, it's not sexy, but it saves so much salary if you wanted to do a Tommy Tremble or a Mason Taylor at only 2.8K. So how are you handling it? Again, not player takes. lineup construction wise, where do you think you'll live in lineup construction wise from like a cost?
Yeah, I mean, Ferguson, Warren are great start, and then some lower fourth K guys. But like you said, there are some cheap tight ends to target here. You mentioned
Coolers mentions Kicks agreed to like Tremble. Coolers said I like Jawan Johnson as long as the ankle ends up being okay. And that's fair. Are you playing any Jawan Johnson?
I mean, if he's healthy, I probably will. I think it's a fair matchup. The other one that I will point to is Gadsden. He led the Chargers in I believe both tight end snaps, definitely tight end targets last week. And yeah, I mean, Washington secondary is real bad, and tight ends have smashed Washington. Bowers just had an okay day, but we saw Kraft, we saw Pitts. So I just think that's a good matchup for a very cheap price. He doesn't have to do much to pay off. I mean, if he gets 10 points, you're happy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally with you on that at only 2.7K. Mike says 6.5 and higher is the cutoff for high price. My man's a bargain shopper for sure. Goes to swap meets for his bargaining skills. Absolutely hysterical. Go easy. Good to see you, Charles. Will Fields Taylor be huge chalk in smaller fields? I don't know that Mason Taylor will be because there's so many.
Taylor will, especially
Fields
him having the Q
Fields will definitely be chalk. Yeah.
Taylor having the Q tag right now will help keep, some people see that now, and even if it's, fully okay by Sunday, they still won't change. So that will probably keep it, his ownership from being too crazy.
Yeah. I personally don't think he'll be chalk, but Fields definitely will. Actually, Fields and the other two. That's why I feel like you'd have to play all three Jets together to get like a lower ownership combo, because I think Fields Garrett Wilson is going to be very common. I think if you did Fields, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson and look for just like bring it back with like Pickens and Ferguson and look for like a massive game stack, I'll probably do it more from the Dallas side and then just hope that then you're getting the edge if Dak outscores Fields and he's much lower owned. I think I'm going to play it that way more often, but I'm still doing field stacks. But I think Fields Garrett Wilson is going to be the massive chalky one for sure. And Fields just honestly by himself. Would you also look at Mason Taylor down there? No, we are absolutely on Mason Taylor, definitely in game stack environments with Fields or with Dak Prescott. But honestly, he's just in my pool. I think he's fine. Single entry. Do you pay for Ferg or go cheap? I mean, the target share with Ferguson in a single entry is really nice. I mean, probably in those type of contests, I do like the Ferguson Warren, just feel good about those targets. But then there is something about saving like $2,000 to go down to like a Gadsden or I just blanked on a Mason Taylor or Gadsden or Tremble. Yeah. And saving $2,000. It's what it lets you do. If it lets you get in feel really comfortable at your receiver and or running back position, get what you want, then I think I might be fine with that too. Any other thoughts before we build?
I think for single injury, it also depends on if you are going with a Dak or Fields quarterback. I probably would just do Ferg. For that reason.
Yeah, sorry, I was coughing. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's build a shell, and then we will get over to the Underdog streets. But yeah, I mean, again, we will do the whole player pool breakdown, our top plays at each position. Will be up Saturday night. Steve's article, or Saturday. Steve will have an article up Friday night or Saturday morning as well. So look for that. That'll really show who is in our pool. And again, there could be some hedges in 4 p.m., 1 p.m. only, 4 p.m. only. I'm going to play it differently where, maybe in the 1 p.m. only, I do a Daniel Jones stack and leave out Jonathan Taylor. But in the main, then and other 1 p.m. only without Daniel Jones, I play Jonathan Taylor, stuff like that. You can do different hedges like that. But yeah, no, I'm both on main slate and short slates. I'm just going to go really big into game environments like game stacks or onslaughts, I can tell you already that I will have at least one 4 p.m. only with like a 5-man Lions, like Lions defense, Goff, and like a big old stack or something. But let's build it out, Steve. Build a shell here for the main slate. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with like either Dak or Fields? Because I feel like those are the two most common, and we'll get to a lot.
Let's start with Fields.
Okay. All right. So we start with Fields. Do you want to just go ahead and throw in Garrett Wilson, George Pickens?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. And I think, if you wanted to, an example of like going big on a game environment, and again, especially in 1 p.m. only, if you wanted to go big in a game environment and do like one of the running backs from one side and one of the tight ends from the other side. So you're having, literally 5 from that game. I don't mind something like that, especially for 1 p.m. only. Say you wanted to go like Javonte Williams and Mason Taylor, then you are, where to go? Yeah. Then you throw in a defense, a cheaper defense, and you're left with 6.7K. Now that I don't know that I'll do that on main as much. That might be where I get a little more aggressive on short slates. But did you want to add these guys like building out like take
out Javonte? I just think there's a little better options in that.
Yeah, so go ahead and keep Fields. The thing is, Fields doesn't need to get there with having a double stack. So did you want to go from the other side and go Ferguson?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. So Fields, Pickens, Garrett Wilson. Fields, Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Ferguson. Why does it? And then a cheap defense right now, the Texans, leaves you with 6.1K. Most of the time this season, we've leaned into playing like 3 running backs. Do you think you'll do that again, Steve?
I do.
Okay. So if you go ahead, sorry.
JT, let's look at 2 mid-tier running backs.
Scatterbone.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that.
So we did Justin Fields, Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Ferguson. So big old game stack, because we're talking about leaning into game environments here. Then we put in cheap defense, Jonathan Taylor, high price running back, a rookie running back in that tier. If you did do another running back, would it be like another mid tier? I mean, you could do Fields, Breece Hall, or you said, we talked about the 2 running backs in that game.
Do Hampton.
Okay. That's not going to leave much.
No, but there's some receivers in that range that I like, to be honest.
Well, who are some of the ones? Because like you could go Tolbert in that game. Who else?
I think Tolbert. If I did do Tolbert, I'd probably move Ferguson to maybe Warren.
Yeah.
Or switch it up a little bit, but I think.
Well, yeah, there's some Malik Washington there. The Giants receivers are a little bit higher, but you have you have Tolbert, you have Malik Washington. Is there anybody? You could also like potentially bump down the defense. Or I mean, if you did like
I think if you do Tolbert, you could change Ferguson and maybe bump up Hampton to another better, like if you go with the cheap tight end, like you could look at that like essentially two elites, like Taylor Gibbs, and then like that's where these $2,000 or $1,500 in savings could really come into play. But just some things to consider. Other cheaper receivers, could you look at cheaper receivers that we didn't talk about? Slightly above. I actually will say if Mims is going to miss, I think Troy Franklin's interesting.
Yeah.
Darius Slayton is one of my favorite cheap receivers, 4,300.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love Darius Slayton, looking very low owned too. I like that a lot. As far as lineup construction wise, I like this lineup. I really want to get like a min one of like Detroit. Like I'm not a Sims girl. I do everything hand build, but I just don't see how that game total isn't above like 35 or team total for Detroit. I just think they're going to, and they're not a team that like gets ahead and just salts away with like just being really, they're always aggressive. They always are not afraid to run up a score of like 45 or more. So I don't know. To me, like you like, say you did something like, I think this would be pretty contrarian. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But if you did like paid up, which is so untypical for me, like Lions defense and David Montgomery, not that you need that correlation, but just saying that's how I'm going to soak up the Detroit points. You're at 4.2, then you're right around Slayton there. Or Troy Frank. You're just
another cheap receiver, slightly more, is Jameson Williams, right? What's his price? He's very cheap. I can't remember his price.
Yeah, so if we take out the running back and leave that as like the thing, but yeah, he is. I want to say
right there, 49.
Okay. Yeah, so he is 49. So say you threw in Jameson Williams. And again, the Lions defense is what makes it hard. That's why I don't think they're going to be that high owned. So if you go back down and put in like, I actually like the Seahawks defense at 2,800 just because of the pressure they can get in the Bucs offensive line issues. That's one.
If Baker were to miss, I definitely would be in on Seattle, but I don't know if Baker's playing.
Wait, what?
If Baker were to miss, then
I don't think he's, but I don't think he's going to miss.
Neither do I, but I'm saying like,
I'd still play. I mean, I love Baker, and I just don't see this being a massive shootout. I think it's going to be a slugfest, and Seattle's defense has put up 8, 14, 16, 11 points. I understand, but like, I just think they could still get like 8 to 12 at 2.8K is just with the nature of that. We don't need to debate defenses. My point is, if you put like a 2,800 and below defense, you're left with 5,200. And then maybe you could do like, that does leave you, if you want to double David Montgomery, JMO, you could do one of those cheaper running backs. If you wanted to go down to like the Texans, I just don't want to play the Texans every time, either.
No, but there's some other cheap defenses that I think are well in play.
Okay. And again, that'll be part of the player takes, on Saturday in your article. So yeah, I mean, this could, if you could do Fields, Garrett Wilson, you could do Breece Hall here, so that's interesting for sure. So yeah, these are just mixing up different line of construction. Why don't we just switch out and do like Dak and see like what changes you would do here. With Dak, I would definitely want like the both Pickens and Wilson. Where else would you change? I mean, I'm sorry, Pickens and Ferguson. You could do the thing where you take out Wilson and run it back with Breece Hall or something like that. I
actually like that a little better.
Yeah. So right now the shell is, again, it's got the cheap defense, but Dak Prescott, JT Scatabo, but you could change high price running back, change rookie running back or mid-tier running back, another mid-tier running back, 5.6K, Breece Hall, cheap defense. But you have the Dak, Pickens, Ferguson stack, bring it back with Breece Hall. We still have JMO in there, but then you have 5.3 for 2 receiver positions. I think that's more than enough on this slate. So these are, again, just building shells to show the different things that you could do. Let's get back to the chat really quick and then get over to the Underdog streets. Keep it moving here because we have a night game to get to. Obviously, need to get a lotto in for that. We talked about Mason Taylor, single entry. Okay. Most importantly, will Sky Moore disappoint us tonight? I hope so, because I'm certainly not playing him in DFS or betting anything on him. Mike Robb says great lineup, but now the world needs to know your top 3 sauce lineup from you both. So any other thoughts on this, Steven? If not, bring over the Underdog streets.
Okay. I think I shared Underdog. You'll have to bring it up.
Okay. Yes. There it is. Our guy Paul in here. NFL taking a back seat tonight. Go Sox. All right. Well, good luck to your Sox tonight, Paul. Great to see you in here. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a super fun game tonight, for sure. And we will get to that next. We are, covered DFS. Now we're covering Underdog Battle Royale, and then we will get to Thursday night football props and parlays. But yeah, if anybody wants to join us in the Battle Royale streets, go ahead and count us down, Steve.
All right. I'll be entering in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. I got an email earlier, like 2 of my teams Or 2 of my drafts were voided. So that was
annoying. No. Was it teams you really liked too?
One definitely. The other was okay. Hey, there's Legion. So
all right, let's go Legion.
But yeah, so and usually I've been doing Wildcats more. I do battle royales later in the week. Last week get paid off to do the Wildcats early because that's where I got the Josh Allen team.
Yeah, no, that's true. Absolutely. All right. Anybody else we know in here? No, doesn't look like that. Well, good to see Legion in here.
Not that I know.
So what do you do here, like kind of smack in the middle, Steve?
I mean, I think if either running back's there, go for that. I think taking a Monra is good, or a chain. I'm not going to mess around too much at the top. I have a Monra ranked higher just because wide receiver does thin out a little bit more after you get through Garrett Wilson. So it's if you have a lower pick, you're not getting Garrett Wilson, Pickens, and JSN. So it's I want to get more of them early. But yeah.
And by the way, when Steve talks about his rankings, and when you see, have you tried our Substack at the top? That is, of course, for Substack subs. Link in the description. Free week trial. Check it out. He does his rankings late Tuesday night every week, and that certainly helps me as well. Okay, so JT does go first, and we'll be up next. Okay, so it goes JT Gibbs. Yeah, you can do it.
Go Monra.
Yeah, no, I just love the Detroit. I mean, I know it is in Cincinnati, but I still love Detroit against Cincinnati this week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just saw, since week 1, Detroit, no offense has been as good as Detroit. They took a week to wake up. Yeah. And since then, they've been just dominant. And it's been against, tough matchups, a great defense, like the Ravens, where it's we have to do it on the road against a great defense like the Browns, and like you said, they just didn't stop. Other teams would have, thrown the towel at 20 points against the Browns because Browns weren't scoring anything. They just said, no, we're going to get 33 or whatever.
What gift is that from? Is that from Rocky throwing the damn towel?
Rocky 4.
Okay. I knew that's I thought that was from one of the Rockies. Some of my Philly guy friends from college were sending that during the Washington playoff game against the Eagles.
You want Garrett Wilson or Pickens?
Pickens for me, but I like both.
Yeah. I rank Pickens higher, so
yeah.
And I actually, I don't mind starting receiver because I think that's strong, and then there's more depth at running back.
Yeah. Oh, look at our guy Scatabo going at pick number 7. There he is. Man. I love it.
Candace W55 is a big Scaboo
fan. Okay, so we're up in 2. We already got 2 receivers. Do you want to do Genty if he's there?
Yeah, I like that. This is why I like Fields. There's other quarterbacks we can go, and Genty is.
Where is Dak already gone?
No.
Where does he go here? Could you click the quarterback tab real quick?
It was late.
Oh, why I guess there is a fear if they just drain the clock and run with Breece Hall tons, and we know how much Jets want to run the ball. I'm just hoping there's enough explosives that Dak can do damage in his time, and that he can still get there. It can still be a fantasy friendly environment, but he's looking to be low owned in DFS. And then for him to go this late, I understand he doesn't give anything on the ground, but
Legion just took Breece Hall from us. Do you want to go Fields? Do you want to go? Could go Javonte. Could do
double stack too. I kind of like Ferguson in a double stack. I don't typically do that, but
all right, let's do it. And hopefully Dak will still be there.
I mean, I think he will. Fields isn't gone.
Yeah. No. Quarterback in this week is definitely fallen more than any other week this year.
Okay, so Fields goes there. You want to take Dak here and then just pick a running back we like then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like
the Monty call that Brian brought up.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's especially an Underdog where
where's he going? So he's like a scroll down option then.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I talked about that from the DFS side. I still like getting this too. So yeah, that's a shame we couldn't get that, but it's nice that we have a Monra in this to have Detroit. So all right. Yeah, no, I'm glad you sorted it like that. Is Pittman injured? I thought so. I saw someone talking about Pittman on Hayden Wings talking about Pittman this week. I didn't think there was any.
Oh, added
Yeah,
to the injury report 2 hours ago. How about that?
yeah, I just saw something right before I was getting ready for the show. Okay, so we're up in one. That's a little too much of a Dallas stack.
You know what I do like is Kamara against the Giants.
Oh my God, Steve, no, please.
What do you want to do?
What's that? Maybe. Well, there's no time. Could you sort by running back really quick? Oh God.
Okay. What do you want? What do you mark?
Rachaad White.
Okay.
I don't know that. Honestly, we should have taken a third receiver probably and taken like
That's why I had it sorted by those guys.
I know, but then, all right, we're fighting. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a bad call with Rachaad White. Probably, I don't know. Do you think it's too much of a scroll down? I don't think actually hate it.
It's too much, but I don't know why Kamara is a bad pick. I mean, Giants
because what's his face is eating into it.
Not really.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Kamara had 70% of the snaps.
I looked at usage reports this week.
In terms of carries, yes, but Kamara had 70% of snaps.
Steve, that's one of your early basketball picks that isn't so good. I don't like it. I'm not gonna. I can't be bullied into it.
Okay.
I mean, there have been so many times where I poo-poo Steve's pick. First of all, James Cook multiple times. I saw the Typhoon Tower doing their bags, and I remember the Husky episode where you were like, "Take James Cook," and I was like, "No, enough of that, Steve. We're not doing this in a high dollar contest." And we let James Cook go, and they took him. I'm like, "Son of a bitch! You should send me a thank you card." And then there's certainly been other times in these dailies where I say something stupid. So, you know,
Yep.
I'm probably wrong.
The gal's my back.
But good to see you, Gail. And I hope I'm right, but if I wouldn't be shocked if I'm wrong. I didn't like it though. This is either BR draft or a horror movie, depending on your perspective. Meg was basically saying, no, don't open the door. He's in there.
Remember, Giants have not looked good against the run this year at all. Yeah,
no, that is true. I mean, what is the usage rate though, Steve? I feel like you're making shit up because I don't think it's 70%.
I'm saying the snaps were 70%.
Okay, but the touches weren't, and that's scary.
So it was like,
so it is a horror movie. Coolers.
It was like 15 to 13 in terms of carries, but Kamara ran way more routes. He got 4 catches for 2 yards.
He's not even getting work in that anymore.
But he's still running the routes. Like,
doesn't matter. Rattler's ass.
I mean, that's true. There's no question on that.
Rattler stinks. Kamara's not getting there from the receiving. He used to get be the PPR scam, get all that, and they're just. I don't like it. I don't like the Kamara thing. So, Rachaad White, I assume he'll be a scroll down, right? I mean, he definitely will be lower. Let's run another one.
Okay, this was so much fun.
Let's do it again. Oh, by the way, coolers, we were right. Steve was wrong. Chase Brown was a good receiver play. 25. Actually, he got to 30, and I played that. And so we had that lotto sweat. And coolers, you have to let us know if you're on Twitter because I was going to tag you, and then I realized I don't think I'm following you on Twitter. But so if you're on Twitter, let me know that I can tag you when Steve's wrong and we're right in the betting streets because he was. And I did a version of our lotto with Chase Brown instead of Gesicki. That hit. So 3 or 4 legs hit, but freaking Sutton couldn't get there. And so when that Garrett Wilson thing happened, I tweeted and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, the lotto's live. And it was such a fun sweat. But of course, Gesicki didn't get there because Browning stinks. And Sutton didn't get there because it was a total blowout. So, but Cooler's idea would have hit. And I had a version of that. So are you too worried about the second Debo DNP? I didn't even realize he had a second DNP. Ooh, who's going to play for the?
No, it's going to be the Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey show.
Oh my God.
Another reason a little lower on Jane Daniels is that he might have no weapons this week because, not sure with Terry's situation and Noah Brown out, and maybe now Debo. So
we got our guy Disbanded in here with the doc. Good to see you, Disbanded. We got our guys Stephen WC, GM Megan Steve. Good to see you, Stephen WC. Love to see everybody in here. 6th round Zach Ertz. That's a great point. Maybe we get like a PPR scam, like a Jake Ferguson situation for Zach Ertz this weekend. That could be interesting. That's sounding rough for Washington for sure. Okay, Steve, count it down.
I'm going to count it down, entering in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. So waiting on 2.
Something looks weird here. Yeah, I got the new overlay. Thanks to Bruni. Always, we appreciate Bruni cleaning it up here and making us look nice. Probably puts JCM in play in 12-man drafts, but not 6-man. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. If you want to join us, still room for. Nope, it's now starting. Okay. Oh, second spot. Okay, fun.
Coolers
Coolers is in here. Nice. All right. So if they go Jonathan Taylor, would you do Gibbs? Yeah. Yeah, in DFS, I might not do him as much since I'll probably play more Monron, Contrarian, Montgomery. But in this situation, kind of like your Josh, it's like go ahead and take it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
What is it?
So this time, let's shoot for Alvin Kamara.
Nope. Can't do it. Yeah, no, I love our new background. Now I put it up bigger.
Oh my.
Is it starting? Oh, okay. It just started.
Your patience is legendary.
Oh my gosh, we got Jonathan Taylor. I love it. Who did we take last time second? Pickens?
Yeah.
We could mix it up and take Wilson if he's there, but I don't hate Pickens either.
No.
I obviously love Pickens.
We should have Rudy make the pick.
He's snoring right now. Can you hear it? He is. It's loud.
Oh wow.
He's snoozing. Yeah. He was a wild man our Monday show, but he's tight today. All right, let's see what Coolers does here at the 6-7. We're at 11. So so speaking of like contrarian and DFS, but here, like how do you handle the Henry situation? Like it's not like you're getting an ownership discount like we are in DFS. So, but if he falls far, you take him and you just take like the ADP discount?
So like you'll see my ranks, and I change my ranks around just because I do I'll be ripping like 4 Wildcats at once. I want to, mix things up. Generally speaking, I want Henry like below Saquon, but I changed it just to ensure. But yeah, I mean, if I'm getting Henry in this like mid-second range, late or early third, like, yeah, why not take some shots on it? There's definitely paths where he has 15, 20 carries and a couple targets and
yeah. No, I definitely don't mind getting Henry, especially if he falls. So, well, speaking of, he's still there right now. And
I'd probably lean Wilson or Collins, but we can take Henry.
Well, let's give it one more and see. I mean, our guy Scadabo's there. I mean, I feel like we got to take Henry. This is right. I mean,
we don't have to because now we're done at running back, but I'm okay with that.
I know we can't take Scadabo now. This is hard. This is really hard.
It's like Sophie's choice.
I know, really. My call here would be, oh God, this is a dagger that I can't take Cam Scadabo. Warren
Fields.
Yeah. Warner Fields.
Let's do Fields. We did Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, good point. All right. So now can you just do orange and blue? Well, you kind of flipped the bill because last time we did 2 receivers. This time we did 2 running backs. I think JT Henry is kind of fun when Henry does fall to us and then we get Fields. And yeah, I now don't think, because we can't take Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson's gone, obviously. So where did Garrett Wilson go? He went a couple picks before our first pick, right? Or before our Henry pick. Yeah.
Pick, right.
So I don't know. Would you scroll down for Mason Taylor in this or no? Or just say Fields is going to get on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, with a guy like Fields, you don't have to stack
right
at all. But I mean, Mason Taylor's in play as a 6th-round tight end if we wait that long.
I also feel like you could just do Fields and Ferguson in this situation where we didn't get Pickens, we didn't get Garrett Wilson, we can't do Breece Hall because we, double tap Jonathan Taylor and Henry. I don't mind saying, Ferguson gets a lot in that game environment, and Fields is getting a lot on the ground, and I'm fine playing it that way. So that's probably the way I'd go. Yeah,
like you'll see my rank of Ferguson's 38. It's not really 38. I just moved him down that low because my first 20 drafts, I think I got him 9 times. So I was like, okay, that's too much.
Well, get ready to take him again because if he falls, I'm going to insist.
You insist? I'm shocked.
I know. It's stunning. Wow, I did not know that about Debo. That sucks for Washington's situation this week.
Yep. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound good. Let me see what the write-up was today. I just said I saw he wasn't practicing.
I didn't even know, what did he hurt? I can't even keep up with these injuries.
A heel injury.
Oh. I didn't even realize. So the families have called with me. I don't watch the Washington games. I watch Red Zone.
You watch this Cam Scatterbo?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I say Ferguson if he falls here.
Yeah. So they said he did travel still with the team, so that's good. But
who, Debo?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure McLaurin and Brown are officially out. So
yeah.
It is not great. Not
really,
good for Washington. Really
depleted. Yeah. I just see the Chargers, unfortunately, bouncing back here too.
Yeah.
I would say JMO would be a fun click because you're getting a piece of that, just like a Spike Week Detroit piece. I don't know.
Yeah, do you want to go T-Mac first and hope JMO comes back?
What number?
Especially if Pittman's now hurt, that was one of my better. We could go McConkey or Keenan.
I kind of would rather go JMO, get a piece of that, and just then get a Chargers piece.
Okay.
Probably be the way I'd be fine playing it.
Yeah, I did used to like the late receivers, but now with Debo and Pittman it feels a little less fun. Though
if Pittman's out, Downs could be, emerge, right? I mean,
I don't know. Downs ain't doing shit.
So, well, that's the tweet I saw is Hayden Wink said, how about we get him in 2 wide receiver sets? Because that's been so frustrating is we drafted him and we're so high on him in best ball and he's just, only getting in 3 wide receiver sets. Right.
Yeah.
So I agree with Hayden's tweet there. Okay. So who do you want to prioritize here then late at pick number 35?
I mean, Keenan Allen's still there. McConkey just went.
Okay.
T-Mac, Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are good queue ups. Scroll down. I'm just curious. Who are some of the. Yeah. I don't think you need to get that.
I mean, I don't mind Chris Godwin. He's got a much better matchup than Mbuka.
Would you do a scroll down for Slayton?
I don't hate it. But.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I like this
directions, yeah. So, I mean, there still are guys here like Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave. They're all fine. I mean, it sounds like Turpin will miss. I'm really in on Tolbert.
Yeah, no, I just realized that today about Turpin. I didn't realize. I mean, there's so many of these I did not realize. So, all right. Yeah. Steven says it's nice, just different, Yeah. Our new background. Love it. Thank you, Steven. Mike says, going crazy on Henry this week. He's pissed. He will be a focal part of the offense versus a team historically dominant. He has, and speaking of Mike's database, I need to get that linked on our Substack for week 5. Henry has just been a Texans killer. And remember in week 16.
I'm doing T-Mac, right?
Who else? Is Keenan gone?
Yep. FK got him.
Oh, good pick, FK.
And he got Kamara also.
Yeah, no, T-Mac's fine.
Yeah. I hope you did just for the bit, but yeah.
I worry about your team now, Coolers. Probably had a good one. Okay, read our team and Coolers team.
All right.
Now I'll go back to Mike's comment about Henry because I agree.
Coolers team first. Herbert, Saquon, Kamara, Pickens, Keenan Allen.
I like that. Oh, I like it all, but Kamara, Coolers.
Our team: Fields, JT, Henry, JMO, T-Mac, Ferg.
Love it. No, I do really like it. I mean, it's correlated with the whole Fields, Ferguson, getting the 2 running backs. You know, Mike talks about Henry here. We'll talk about that in a minute more, but and then getting a piece of that Detroit offense, and then T-Mac's going against Carolina and who I just lost it.
Carolina, yeah, Miami.
Yeah. So great matchup. Could be a week because he hasn't gotten a touchdown yet. Correct?
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, bringing up Mike's point again, I'm going crazy on Henry Wiggs, pissed focal point of the offense versus team he historically dominates. It's the world telling us to play him. Yeah. And I'll be interested to see, it's like DFS like 8-10 years ago. It's like nobody would touch Henry with a 10-foot pole. Now we've all like, it's like the guys you think are going to be contrarian then turn out to get ownership and that kind of stuff. So I'll be interested to see what ownership is Sunday morning, but was the one that started Monday first look. Okay, no way. And then now I'm like, oh, now I'm super interested. He has historically been a Texans killer, dominated the Texans. Remember, I had him on multiple, in best ball it was week 17 against the Texans last year. And he put up a massive game on Christmas Day and definitely had I want to say he put up like 150 yards, a touchdown, and almost got a second touchdown, like multiple times. I was going crazy on Christmas Day. That was a fun sweat, but yeah, he has dominated the Texans. And it's like the Texans, it's not like they're like a murderer's row to face it from running back perspective. Running backs have been able to put up numbers on them. So I actually do like that call. Steven agrees with Mike as well. Debo trying to hurry back for thirds at lunch, missed a step carrying the trays. That's too funny. Tim D says, any chance Josh Downs is alive? I hope Tim D, we're hoping maybe he gets going this week. Steven asking, do you like Godwin? I'm not playing him on DFS. I don't know that I'll get to him here. Are you going to get to him here, Steve?
A little bit. I mean, I do believe Baker will play. So yeah, I feel good about Godwin.
Okay. I don't know that I'll get, but I don't do as much volume. Kick says, do you think Daniels is good enough to run a lot? Chargers are bad against running QBs. I wouldn't count on it. I just don't think they should. I mean, obviously given the game environment, he might have to, but I don't know. I mean, we don't know how severe that knee was and how he's feeling truly. So I'm not going to play him, and I wouldn't bet his rushing or anything like that because I'm worried it could be scaled back. But Cooler says I'll take 5 of 6 from the tough Russian judge. That's hysterical. And true. We all wanted to pick in best ball for Chase. Now we don't want him. Hysterical that the 101 this year and the past actually wasn't been like now 4 years in a row. It was like that was like like stepping in it, basically. This offensive line looks like a high school or college offensive line, really bad offense without Burrow. I 100% agree, Tim D. It is painful to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't even like last year. Even the past couple of years, there was like some debate on the 101. This year was like a lock button. So that's a good point as well. All right, Steve, let's go over to the Thursday night football streets here. Give me 1 second. Thursday night football, we are going to talk props, touchdowns, parlays. Let me bring over FanDuel Sportsbook to check it all out. And Steve, we've got 43.5 total Rams are favored by 8.5. How do you see this game going with McCaffrey and basically all backups on offense?
Yeah, that's the tough thing. 49ers, it's McCaffrey, and that's about it. So I like the Rams. I mean, the Rams they honestly could be undefeated if not for a fluke blocked field goal touchdown return by the Eagles. Rams should probably be undefeated right now.
Right.
And they've looked great against a variety of teams. Titans are bad, but even Texans, not off to the greatest start, but this team that's been in the playoffs the last couple of years, looked great against the Eagles, almost won that game, and of course looked great last week against the Colts, who have been playing like a playoff team this year. So, it's a short week, but it's in LA. Not that it's far travel for 49ers.
Right.
So, that's at least the one positive the 49ers have.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, Rams have looked good. Their offense, Stafford is looking great. Puka is amazing. Kyren and Adams are playing well. I know Higbee's going to be out, but that's about it. Defensively, they're looking elite. So I won't do like the over-under. I would maybe take like the Rams over, like team total over.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers could end up being total implosion, right? But if not, they're going to be playing from behind, I think, this entire game. And so maybe they get a backdoor cover or something like that. I don't think they really have any chance to win. And probably don't even like them with the points.
I actually don't mind the 49ers with the points. I just feel like Tim D says gritty NFC West game. I just feel like they're scrappy enough that they could keep it close. But I mean, I could be totally wrong there. I also don't love the over. Again, I wouldn't mind doing probably, if I got on some props, doing a version of it with like an alt under, because that's one of my favorite things to do is anti-correlate like props, and you do like an alt under of like 51.5. I certainly don't find this game going over that. But again, I don't know so that I feel super confident with those stands, but I lean 49ers spread alt under is how I lean, or under, but definitely alt under if I were actually playing it, is how I would lean. Okay, now let's talk touchdowns. Steve, of course, you've got Kyren Williams, Christian McCaffrey up top, though you get minus 105 for Christian McCaffrey. I understand the situation, but that feels, I understand does he have 3 touchdowns on the season or 2?
Just 2.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I knew he got it last week. I knew he got the Saints week. I couldn't remember the week 3 because I know he didn't week 1, I believe. Puka minus 105, Christian McCaffrey minus 105. The best to me is Devontae has just been a red zone machine. You're getting them for plus 110. That feels like the best price to me. What do you think about touchdowns, Steve?
Agreed. And this is also a game that the Rams are very condensed. I mean, Corum will get some carries, but they're extremely condensed, especially with no Higbee. The amount of touches and targets that are going to go between Kyren, Puka, and Adams is, it's going to be 85% of the Rams probably targets and touches.
Yeah.
So, particularly around the goal line in the red zone. So, and Adams is the best. Like, he's the best touchdown scorer on the team, even better than Puka. I know Puka had the rushing touchdown that helps his total right now, but that's just less easy to count on. So Adams at plus 110 is really good.
Yeah, that's definitely a favorite, like price considered. But I mean, I actually don't mind a shot on McCaffrey at minus 105. It's gonna, if it does stay even within the spread, it's gonna have to be on McCaffrey's shoulders. Any long shots? I know in talking to you pre-show that you like DeMarcus Robinson. Would you take a long shot plus 350 to find the end zone, or would you just approach it from his other props?
I would approach it from his other props. I mean, you do have a chance for the 49ers just get blown out. Like, Rams defense is one of the best in the league. So, and they're playing their, preseason backups.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's wild. It's wild out there. Okay. So first touchdown, just have some fun with it. So not Kyren or McCaffrey because they're, or Puka, because they're anywhere from like essentially, 3 to 5 to 1, essentially. Devontae is only 6 to 1. So it gets longer odds from like, you could do any of those. And now, FanDuel has the kind of either or. So that's kind of fun if you just wanted to play like first touchdown and say, oh, well, I think it's Kyron or McCaffrey plus 190 and put more on it as opposed to, or, Kyron or Devontae Williams at plus 190. I don't mind approaching it that way, but let's have some fun with it. If you're taking a long shot, just doing a little sprinkle, who would be your long shot, Steve?
I think I would go with Davis Allen. He's gotten a couple touchdowns already. There is no Tyler Higbee. So, he'll be out there. Him and Colby Parkinson will get most tight end snaps, but Allen has already gotten in the end zone twice this year.
Okay. I'll go Jake Tonjes, the other tight end. He's already gotten in the end zone twice this year, plus 22 to 1. Why not? I mean, the options for Mac Jones to throw to, which, by the way, his outfit, it was like this red and black, like these outfits that these guys show up. I'm so old. I'm like, what are we wearing here? Not like our lunch pail guy, Cam Scatavo, just showing up in some.
I don't know if anyone's going to want him to. He did a throwback Neighbors jersey last week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But it was like a t-shirt, right? Like it was just more like lunch pail. You know what I mean? These outfits these guys are wearing, like what Burrow would used to show up in. Oh my Lord. I'm like 100 years old. Anyways, I totally lost. Oh, the options to throw to are literally McCaffrey. You can see it here. Bourne, Demarcus Robinson, Jake Tonjes, essentially. And then, am I saying it right? I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I think it's Tonjes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to scroll way down, Kyle Juszczyk, 35 to 1. Is your guy MVS active? That's an 80 to 1.
I haven't seen yet.
Okay. I mean, check it. I mean, actives should be coming out in the next 15 minutes. MVS, Steve, 80 to 1. Might need to sprinkle on that if he's alive and active. Sky Moore, I can't do that, but I guess you could, because those are literally the only options. All right. I think we've exhausted enough time with these backups. Now let's talk player props. Steve, what player props are you liking tonight? I would assume, and I know this. Let's just talk about Christian McCaffrey. He has the second most targets in the NFL, right behind Puka, who's in this game. The third most receptions, right behind Puka and Jake Ferguson, who we talked about, of course, during the DFS and Underdogs segments. He's gone over 54 yards in all of the games. His line is right around there. I love Christian McCaffrey, alt 60 yards, plus 124, and then just ladder it up. He's going to have to. It's not like they can scheme him out. He's going to have to. He is literally, we are living in a world in week 5 of 2025 where Quentin Johnston's priced higher than Ladd McConkey, and Christian McCaffrey is basically wide receiver, 7 on the season, and is operating as a full-blown wide receiver. It's wild times, but I'm not going to shy away from it. So I like 60 plus and then laddering it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we saw last week, even they did a hook and ladder play to get McCaffrey going last week. So they'll do whatever it takes to get him going. He's the only guy left right now, literally last man standing for the 49ers offense. I mean, Rams know it, but it's so much harder to take away or back out of the backfield. Honestly, the only risk here is just ultimate blowout, and they just sit McCaffrey the last quarter plus. Right. But even then, he could get 60.
Worried about that. I feel like they're going to be frisky enough that I'm not.
I mean, look, I like what the 49ers have done, but Mac Jones versus the Rams in LA is a lot different than Mac Jones versus the Saints or something.
Yeah. No, I just feel like Mac Jones isn't like Jake Brown.
And with no Ricky Pearsall and no,
Right. Yeah. I just feel like I respect Mac Jones enough in a Shanahan offense that I feel like it could stay close enough. So, okay. So we love McCaffrey receiving. That's an auto bet for us. Who else are you liking in the prop market, Steve?
So the guy I'm going to go with is still a 49er just because I think they're playing the entire game from behind. That's Demarcus Robinson. Mm-hmm. This is called a revenge game. He went to the 49ers this offseason, was suspended, missed the first 3 games, came back last week, had, I think, 2 targets, 1 catch, 20 yards. It was a nice catch. Mm-hmm. And if you look, he did more in that catch than Kendrick Bourne did on all his drops. I just think Demarcus Robinson is a better receiver. He also had all off season where Bourne, came into the offense like essentially right before week 1. Granted, Bourne does know Mac Jones a little bit, but in terms of the offense,
I do worry that Mac Jones has a connection with Bourne, but I'm hoping Demarcus Robinson, like you said, has just got real money, is a real receiver, was there, and hopefully he gets worked in more. Are you worried if there's any more ramp up for Robinson?
No, I don't even think there can't ramp up so much last week. It was just, from a slight extent, but look, Pearsall's done, or not done, but he's out for the game. Jennings is out for the game. Demarcus Robinson is by far the best talented receiver on this team.
The actual receivers. Yeah.
So he's going to probably McCaffrey leads in targets and Robinson is number 2 would be my guess.
Yeah. 40 plus is plus 124. If you wanted to approach it from the receptions standpoint, or do you just like yards better for Demarcus Robinson? Demarcus Robinson, 4+ receptions is plus 162. I kind of don't mind on FanDuel. You can have fun with the 20, 30 plus yard reception. 20 plus is plus 110 for Demarcus Robinson. I think you said he got that last week. 30 plus, if Mac Jones can connect with him deep, is plus 320. Or if, he has a lot of yak on a situation.
I think the 49ers' only chance is to get the ball out early and often, because Mac Jones is going to be under so much pressure with Jared Verse and this Rams defensive line.
All right, so we like McCaffrey receiving. We like Demarcus Robinson receiving. Those are the 2 main ones. Obviously, you can always do Puka receptions because, again, who's leading the league in receptions, and that's him. So you need to go to 9 for plus money. 8's a little juice, but Puka for receptions is always in play. I think he's gotten 9 3 of the 4 weeks, if I'm correct. I think I'm correct on that. So you can always play at that angle. Check out, of course, 7-day free trial. Are you subscribed? You now see on our new background, link in the description, and our Thursday night football bet and parlay has already been sent. But Steve, we're going to build a fun one here, and I have to do a CBS chat in an hour, so let's build a fun one for the people. And we appreciate Tim thanking us for our rankings. Hope all the guys stay healthy, keep cooking. This was not me. This was Steve. Hand up. I was a little lower on James Cook with the whole hold in situation. So all the credit to Steve on that one. Mike Robb saying Sky for the Sky Moore. I hope it's not Sky Moore. I hope it's, Demarcus Robinson from that side. So
I don't know if the world's ready for a Sky Moore fantasy game.
No, we're not ready. We're not. We're just so not ready for that. So, okay. Again, coolers, if you're in there, tell us you had the good call with Chase Brown. If you're still here, tell us if there's any props you like for this lotto. But we are going to build a 3-leg lotto every Monday and Thursday and Friday. But Monday and Thursday for the night game, we're going to build a $5 lotto, or on FanDuel, they have a risk-free. So I'll put the risk-free token on it. We'll have some fun, and we won't count that against, I actually have been counting that against our units. I need to catch up on that for this week for Saturday, but we won't count that against our units because it's risk-free, or a $5 lotto. We'll do a $5 lotto, do at least 50 to 1, have some fun. We actually had a sweat on Monday night because Garrett Wilson hit 80 plus yards on the last reception of the game before he lateraled it back. And that was so fun to have both from the Jets game, and then the Bengals stink and didn't get us there. But it's fun to have a lotto to sweat. So let's do that. Let's look for a 50 to 1. Steve, where do you want to start?
I will start with where I left, and that's Demarcus Robinson, just this time pushing it up. 50, 60, 70 if you want to get real spicy.
Let's start with 60 and see what that. I like that. I mean, he had plenty of games from the Rams last year, didn't he? With some long balls and some over 60 yards.
He's the guy who, when both Puka and Kupp missed time last year, and he had some big games. And you know what? The guy who won the Millie Maker, our Underdog Best Ball Mania, had Demarcus Robinson. He would not have made the playoffs. I will guarantee it.
Really?
Demarcus Robinson, because he had guys like Pearsall, he had guys like T. Higgins, he had multiple receivers who were out missing time early in the year. I don't know if anyone's officially looked at it, but I would almost guarantee it. Just looking at his lineup, he had another receiver who missed some time. So yeah.
Okay, let's catch up with the chat, and then we'll do the second leg of this lotto. Again, every Monday, Thursday, Friday, we will do either a risk-free or a $5 lotto. This one has a risk-free token. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll put it on Substack. You guys can see it now. Cooler says, I'm actually with the two of you, Demarcus Robinson receiving yards over favorite play of the game. Okay, we're lockstep here. We're all lockstep. I like that. The only play I was considering, Colby Parkinson yards, but didn't bet it yet. Okay, Mike Rob says you're in a chat in the hour. I'm doing a Discord chat on CBS Sports Line at 7:30 to 8:15 game time, talking props and touchdowns. Speaking of Discord, another thing about, have you tried our Substack yet? I sent a test to Mike Rob. for Substack subs only, they'll also have access to the Fanspeak Degens Discord, where we can talk about best ball sweats, of course, best ball in the off season. And then in season, we'll talk through there are categories for bets and every which way of bets. There is obviously DFS and obviously Underdog Battle Royale. So we have it all covered there. I've sent Mike Robb the link to test it out, but I will send it out to Substack subs tomorrow. And anybody who joins will then get access to that. It'll probably take a while to get people to populate in there, but hopefully we can have some fun, have some sweats, and talk things out in there. So I had to drop that in as I'm talking about doing a Sportsline Discord in an hour. We will now have that. There's an Ask Steve-O section in every one, which clearly, give it up for Steve on the James Cook call. You want to ask Steve-O some stuff. So, you know what I mean? Okay, Steve, well, I'm going to stay locked up with what my big stand here. Christian McCaffrey, he needs to continue to operate like a receiver. He got 90 yards last week. Remember, I had a ladder with Cam Scatterbo and Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, we had them as individual bets on our card last week for week 4. Obviously, McCaffrey sailed past it, got 90 yards. I did a bet in a parlay ladder, and I did like 25 and 50, 40 and I can't remember, 70, and like 60 and 90. McCaffrey got his full ladder to 90, and Jackson Dart just kept running. Why did he? Even if he would have gotten Scatterbo to his first one, we would have profited. He gets him to the second one, fun. If he would have gotten him to 60, we just would have made hundreds of dollars. So Jackson Dart can just stop running and throw to our guy Cam. I'd appreciate that. But he got 90 yards last week. He's going to have to do it again if the 49ers have any chance of staying in this game. So, Steve, do you want to do an all 49ers kind of who the hell else are they throwing to thing and throwing like a Jake Tonjes? That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they're likely going to be fairly condensed offense as well. So I don't hate that either.
Yeah,
Tonjes is game targets.
I mean, look at this. And sure, one of these guys could. I mean, who knows? Maybe Demarcus Robinson does have like an 80 or 100 yard game. But like, if you're saying McCaffrey 90 and above 60 for Demarcus Robinson, Tonjes, that's 190 yards. Mac Jones' line is 210. I think he can. If they have any chance of staying in this game, I think he can. I understand it's a tougher matchup, but then maybe one of these guys soar over. Maybe it is like a Bourne gets involved too, but I absolutely think you just condense it and say it goes to these 3 guys mainly. And, you just lockstep and we get our 50 over 50 to 1 lotto with 53 to 1. There's a risk-free token on FanDuel. That's how we're going to play it. I'm going to tweet this out in just 5 minutes and then put it on our Substack. What do you think, Steve?
No, I think it's fun. I think it's a fun way to approach the game tonight.
Does DK? I didn't even check DK because I
haven't looked yet. I need to do that.
I was wondering if they had a risk free or if it's more of a boost or whatever.
Not sure.
Okay. Okay. Mike says CBS Discord will have to be found. Go Coach Soccer till 8, but we'll pop in as a one man shop hype man. Oh my God, we love it. I love you so much. We appreciate you so much, Mike. And I need to link Mike's database tonight on our Substack as well. Yeah, I think speaking of for subs only, I think it's for Sportsline subscribers. So I don't check into that. And let me know if you need, like, I'll see if I can get a code or something like that. But I believe it's for Sportsline subscribers. Yeah, I'm learning the whole back end of that. And he says, yes, in the Discord and waiting to bug it out once Tyler finally joins. Yes, we need Tyler to join. Absolutely. I love how he gives Tyler the over under on smiles. So gotta love that. But yeah, no, this is a fun lotto we're rolling with tonight. Hopefully we have a sweat like we had Monday night. Hopefully one of these gets here soon. That would be amazing. So Steve, let's have some fun. Final thoughts for the people.
Yeah, no, good luck tonight. And good luck with all the other types of things like dailies and DFS. And yeah, might be a boring game, but it's football. We get so few of these nights, so enjoy it.
Exactly. Hey, you never know, right? Like we all thought Sunday night was going to be a snoozer. We thought it was going to be all about Michael Parsons. I almost sounded like Jerry and called him Michael. We thought it was going to be just all about Micah Parsons and dominating and Dallas looking silly. It was not. It was one of the most fun games so far. Went to overtime. We got basically 5 quarters and ended in a tie. It was amazing. So you never know. Sometimes the NFL surprises you. Dallas certainly surprised us that night. Maybe San Francisco and Christian McCaffrey can surprise us tonight in a good way. So again, I will put our lotto on Twitter, on Substack. Again, check link in the description for Substack free 7-day trial. Good luck tonight. But we'll be back tomorrow. Prop party, 4 p.m. Degen Dads, 9:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Winners are coming tomorrow. So for Steve, I'm Meg. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you next time.